Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears this morning. The great battle has been won, my friends. And you may sit there and question, what battle, Jack? Well, as many of you know, there has been a great battle against the fruit flies in my kitchen for the past couple weeks. And what I like to do is during the weekend do a non-work related project around the house, whether it be cleaning my house, whether it be starting a painting, something outside of disrupt is what I like to do on the weekends, right? Over the past 2 weeks, my kitchen has been, I don't want to say infested, but there was a large amount of fruit flies as opposed to the other rooms in my house in the kitchen. And I would question why this was happening every day. I would pace around the room, waiting, wondering, trying to get rid of these fruit flies, And I'm a relatively clean person. I clean, at least twice a week. A good scrub around my house, keep everything fresh, And yesterday, I noticed the fruit flies are starting to come from the bottom of my sink. And this disturbs me on a level that I have trouble conveying to you. FF gets it in chat. He says, nobody likes flies. You are right, FF. Nobody likes flies. Okay, so there are flies coming from the bottom of my sink, flying out. I think, okay, I found the mother lode. I gear up, okay? We're talking full garbage bags over my arms as gloves. Face mask. I'm going in, folks. Troy Glazer says, what does this have to do with VR? Life is virtual reality, my friend. Grab a seat, Troy. Welcome to the show. I dive beneath the kitchen sink. Flies start coming out. I'm getting closer to the nest itself. Okay. I feel like I'm playing Halo at this point, destroying an alien colony. I have to open up my kitchen door because there's too many flies. They're flying out. My dog is looking at me, questioning what I'm doing. At the bottom of my sink, tucked away, there is a bag of potatoes, folks. A 3-month to, I would give it 3 to 6 month old bag of potatoes. Rotten to the core. I wasn't smelling it, okay, before, but that was the nest. I did not look at it. I just grabbed it, put it into the garbage bag, tied up the garbage bag, and threw it out, okay? It was absolutely disgusting, but I will tell you, it was the sweetest victory this morning, going into my kitchen and being fruit fry free of fruit flies. Folks, welcome to VR Radio. Thank you for tuning in. I just needed to share that story with you. I needed to get off my chest. I needed to share my victory of the weekend. And I hope you all had a fantastic weekend as well. We're playing some bebop, some jazz here on VR Radio. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Folks, it's a wonderful morning, evening here on the East Coast, US. Maybe it's afternoon, maybe it's evening for you, maybe it's morning. But hey, we're all getting our week started here. What should be the question of the day? Let me know in chat if you got any topics to talk about today. Whether it be life, universe, anything at all. I'm all ears. How's it hanging, Audrey? Good to see you. Mighty Dragon says, this is the song I won at my funeral. Hey, I can get behind that, Mighty Dragon. Just some good old bebop as people drop flowers at your casket. See, that's a funny thought. I can see that. Well, gosh dang, folks. I was going to start it out nice and calm, kind of ease into the conversation a little bit. How was your weekend? But you guys just want the straight up deep stuff. Dexter says, what caused life as the topic today? We had a movie night last night. We watched 2001 A Space Odyssey in the Disrupt Discord. And to answer your question, Dex, what caused life? According to Kubrick, it would be interdimensional obelisks floating through space. What's up, mate? Says, I'm so confused. What are you doing? Ha ha ha. Ha ha. What's up, mates? Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, my friend. You'll catch on quick enough. FF says, yesterday was so fun. I went to a VR arcade for the first time. Hey, glad to hear it, FF. That's pretty rad. I'm so glad that sort of the arcade model is back, at least for a little bit. It's pretty cool. I dig it. Trey Punk Rock says, are we living inside of a fruit fly's mind? I think a fruit fly is living inside of our mind. Puggo Pug says, what's the game I'm playing? I'm playing Air Car right now, buddy. Available for free on the Oculus Rift. Itsugi says, would you rather drink orange juice, expecting it to be milk, or drink milk, expecting it to be orange juice? Definitely drink... orange juice, expecting it to be milk, or drink. I would rather drink milk. I would rather drink orange juice, expecting it to be milk. Simply because, here's my reasoning, folks. Here's my reasoning. I prefer orange juice over milk. Because this question implies that I'm probably parched. I am thirsty. I am wanting a drink. And I'm thinking to myself, I have maybe like a water bottle that either has milk or orange juice in it, and I'm assuming it's milk, but I drink it and it's orange juice. I would be happier with that conclusion because I like orange juice, man. Orange juice is good. But we're getting to the important topics here today, folks. That's what Monday's all about. Are you going to work today? Do you have school? Do you have studying that you have to do? Or are you just chilling on a vacation? Let me know. I, for one, am working on a pretty exciting project. I hate to be that guy that says I can't say too much about a project that I'm working on, but I can't say too much about projects that I'm working on. And I'll tell you one thing, folks. I haven't been this excited about a project since quite a while. Really fun. Brendan Marshall says, Jack, you have a virtual apartment. I like to think of myself as a virtual nomad. I chain myself to no one specific place within the virtual world. What I like to do is drift around, find different environments that I like, and then chill in them. Mighty Dragon says, what's the best type of music for a video game? Well, hey, depends on the video game, my friends, you know? You gotta switch around the mood depending on the style, the aesthetic, in other words, of the video game. Folks, listening to VR Radio, don't forget you can click the link in the description below to join the Discord and chat it up with me. We talk about life, talk about whatever it may be, universe, questions. We're all ears. Folks, I've been on the UFO mood today, in the past week. I'm not one to be a conspiracy theorist, I'll tell you that much. I like to ground my reasoning in both faith, but mainly science, okay? But when there is a man that shows no signs of lying, aka Bob Lazar, saying we have UFOs, that the government has 9 UFOs that they excavated, and all of his facts check out after 30 years, I have to question my reality. Have you guys seen this? Bob Lazar, the documentary on Netflix, just dropped last week, and I'll tell you, it is mind-blowing. Highly recommend. Folks, if you were wondering, we were going to have the wonderful noises outside my window today. Rest assured, we have them. So if you do hear a loud chainsaw type noise, do not be alarmed. Folks, you're listening to VR Radio. We're going to take some calls here in the Discord. I want to chat it up with you. Ramir says, made you fall in love with VR? I'll tell you, man. When I first put on the headset, it was love at first sight. You're live on air, Synexus.
Hello. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Where are you calling from?
Houston, Texas. Good old Texas.
Texas, bringing it down, brother.
how's your month been? We haven't chatted in a bit.
My month has been absolutely excellent, my friend. June is always one of my favorite months of the year. So It's been great. How's yours been?
It's been good. Work's been fun. Work's been tough. Let's see. Yeah, just finished up a weekend trip, summer trip with the folks. Oh, I think you got a call out there.
Oh, nice. Where'd you guys go?
It was just like a New Braunfels, Schlitterbahn. It was like a water park. It was just nice to kind of hang out with them. But yeah, actually, I have a question for you.
Fire away.
What are your opinions on the future of augmented reality? I know a lot of your content surrounds the like the ideology of VR. I mean, VR radio makes sense. But what about AR? I'm curious about your opinions as to the utility of it, because I mean, that's always kind of a topic of discussion. But also, do you think that AR is really going to replace our common cell phones? And if so, I mean, I have my own opinions on the whole matter. And if so, well, how long do you think that may take?
So I would say 100% AR will replace the smartphone, just by the
Hmm.
very basis of like how uh, kind of outdated touching a screen feels nowadays. I mean, like we have these like 5 by 3 screens to access all this information. It only seems natural that we would take that information and put it around us in the form of
Hmm.
holograms. As for when it'll happen, I'm not sure. I hope over the next 20 years, uh, because the
Okay. 20. Any
technology.
any headsets that? Hmm.
I was just gonna
Sorry,
say,
go
like,
ahead.
the technology is. I feel like the technology is there, but it's still, it's big. So once we get it to be a something that people walking around New York wouldn't mind wearing all day, every day, I feel like that's when
Yeah.
it'll be there.
Yeah, I asked the question because I recently went to the AWE Augmented World Expo. I think they're releasing a lot of videos out of their I guess events that they had there.
Yeah.
And it just begged the question. I picked up a book by Charlie Fink on convergence, and it
Uh,
depicts this you depict it correctly, surrounded by information with through holograms, but it's like being a part, a presence within the digital space.
mm,
It's just the question of how long. There's a lot of use cases in enterprise, and that's kind of the part that I see. But I'm just here wondering, at what point is this AR really going to pick up? And we have yet to get our hands on the HoloLens 2. So once we check that out, I think maybe we'll have a better finger on the pulse as to where the technology can do.
yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting, man. To I have like this feeling of anticipation, like, and it really only has risen to the surface as I've gone deeper into this industry. But like, I don't know if you
Hmm.
feel the same thing. It's like this anticipation. We're kind of just like waiting until everyone else starts to
Hmm.
get on board as well, because it's like
And
we know
I do
it's
feel
there.
like VR though. I feel like VR has grown into its own though with the Oculus Quest, and seeing how much uh, I guess console use more so with the headset. It's great. I'm like, because I was back in the day trying to use VR for healthcare applications, and that was tough when we had a DK2,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, we're gonna this is we were a bit early on our use case, and I feel with AR. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, I honestly think that when it comes to the adoption, or at least the comfortableness of the headsets, definitely your channel and many others are making it a lot more adoption, or a lot more friendly for folks to pick up. Which I think is kind of the objective, but is also helping like all the other immersive tech industries, even AR, because as you said earlier, when you put something on you, who knows if people even want to put something on their face? Kind of the consensus that we have is no.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always been I don't know, once it hits your face, it turns into fashion, and that's something that AR mainly has to get over, because if we needed to use it in this consumer space. But Who knows? Who knows? But
Mm.
I don't want to take up the entire show. I like the new layout. Definitely, it's definitely cool. I like it. Pretty
Oh,
cool.
well,
I
hey,
haven't had the chance to mention that to you.
appreciate it, man. One last question for you.
Yeah.
If would you rather drink milk expecting it to be orange juice or orange juice expecting it to be milk?
Hmm. That's a good question. Milk to orange juice,
A very important question.
uh, or orange juice to milk. I think regardless, I would think that either one would be like, ah, this is sour, this is bad. But probably orange juice to milk.
Okay.
Milk to orange juice would be an immediate like, wow, this is extremely sour because of the citrusness of the oranges.
Ah,
So I definitely think orange juice to milk, because more so it'd be like, ah, this isn't bad, but I mean this is weird.
yeah.
So
Because that's quite a difference is between the sort of milkiness of or creaminess of
the
milk and
experience,
the
yeah, the
tang.
taste.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, thanks for the
Oh,
conversation.
also, yeah. Also, before I go, I'm not too sure if you remember, but back then, a month ago, I remember I mentioned to you that I would be heading out up there to Atlanta sometime for Coca-Cola, because I know they have the HQ there, and I have
Oh
some
yeah.
things to do there with them folks. So yeah, no, I actually have the times and dates that I'm heading out there. They already got the tickets and everything. So
Oh, sick.
maybe just to talk VR AR, I think that'd be kind of fun. But I'll hit you up on Discord just with a little bit more information.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll grab lunch or something.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds great. All right.
All
Well,
right.
have a great rest of your show.
Peace out to next. Love you.
Love you.
We're saying that after every call now, folks. Hey, you're listening to VR Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Folks, we got something a little different coming to you for the show today. Now, I got an email from someone called Paul a couple of weeks ago, and I'll go ahead and read the email for you. Pretty cool. It says, "Hey Jack, my name is Paul. I'm a VR developer. I made an application that blends music therapy for autism with virtual reality, and thought you might be interested. It's not publicly available yet, but it is a finalist for the Project Paradigm Challenge, so I wanted to reach out and show the link to the video. So we're going to go ahead and show this experience to you. It's pretty interesting. It's sort of this idea of using virtual reality to provide sort of type of therapy. It was interesting. They sort of use their hands to play this infinite void of colors. And we actually have special guest VR Radio the July 1st Monday edition, folks, coming to you live. We have the special guest, the developer of this experience, in a call. I'm going to go ahead and chat with him for the rest of the show here and just kind of discuss the aspect of autism therapy in virtual reality. It's a topic that I'm not familiar with. No one in my family has autism. I don't have any experience with it, so I'm excited to hopefully learn a little bit more. We got Paul Buttles. I'm gonna give him a call here, and we'll have that conversation coming up for you in a few minutes here. Folks, that's very loud. Apologies. Hey, Paul.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Brilliant. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for reaching out with the email. I'm the person that handles all the incoming emails sent it to me, like forwarded it to me, and I was excited to read it. So
Yeah, thanks.
yeah, absolutely. Can you kind of introduce yourself a little bit about what you do and?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Paul Buttles. I am an independent VR developer. I actually just graduated high school. I'm headed to UNC Chapel Hill in the fall. I'm pretty excited about that. I've been interested in VR for quite some time now, and especially music therapy. So the idea behind my project was essentially to address a specific study that came out about 2 or 3 years ago. So music therapy has been a pretty bog standard approach to therapy, behavioral therapy for autism for quite some time now. But recently, there's a study that came out stating that it was not actually that effective, that it was a bit more humanistic and didn't really have a lot of quantitative results in helping with different behavioral issues for people with autism. So I did a lot of reading on it. And there isn't any specific consensus as to why that is, but my theory was that it doesn't really appeal to enough senses. It's just auditory. So the idea was if we could take music therapy and expand that from just hearing to also seeing and feeling, we might also be able to create like multimodal learning pathways in the brain that would enhance the strength of these behaviors. Kind of like in the classroom, how you don't just read from a textbook. Teachers, if they're good, will oftentimes mix in, videos, and music, and different activities and things like that. It's basically the same idea, where it's all about creating associations between good, bad things, different emotions, and different social behaviors to help those social behaviors feel more normal to people who they might not automatically come to. If that makes sense.
Interesting. And I'm curious, how would you sort of measure if a child with autism is engaging with the application?
That's a great question. So currently it's just in its prototype phase, but the idea is, I'm not sure if you're familiar, I'm sure you are, but Tobii eye tracking with the HTC Vive. So one of the biggest things for autism, people with autism, is maintaining eye contact. That's one of the best measures that people will use during music therapy or other types of therapy to measure the intensity of someone's autism is through eye contact. So Tobii eye tracking could be used to measure in real time how much eye contact is being maintained from session to session, which is currently not something that has ever been done, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that, to my knowledge at least, no one has ever tried to have those kind of real-time analytics, because usually it's a test that's administered at the very beginning and at the very end, and sometimes midway through therapy to kind of see how progress is being made. But this could, in real time, give those that same sort of information, which is really valuable.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's a cool use case that we have technology like that available for us at a cost that's you know entry level for indie developers. That's right.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And kind of going off what you said with the cost, um, a lot of music therapy is done with pianos or things like that, but the actual range of instruments is pretty limited just because of how expensive instruments are. So it's basically whatever is directly available to the music therapist. With this, because it's all virtual, that is no longer an issue. You can have as many instruments are programmed into it. You can change the interface however you want. So, for example, if the child was really into drums and percussion, rather than transporting an entire drum set around, you could just have a virtual drum set to play. You don't have to worry about breaking it down and setting it up. You don't have to buy it, which is in itself a big boom economically.
That's interesting. Yeah, I remember reading a Reddit story of someone that had a sort of VR like party business where they would set up VR like birthday parties for kids and stuff. And he said he did the first party that all of the children had some level of spectrum on the autism scale, and he was saying the parents were so surprised how engaged they were with each other in the in the virtual world, like playing a multiplayer game. So it is interesting how the technology can kind of switch it right on the spot. Now, how did you get into development?
So it's kind of funny. It's a little bit of a journey. So I initially had this sort of idea for like music out in space that you reach out and touch, and the shape of your hand changes what the instrument sounds like. Back in seventh grade, eighth grade, and I always kind of wanted to do it, but at that point, there was the Oculus DK1 was, I think, all that was out. My brother had it, but I didn't have the technical capacity to make anything like that happen. So I just kind of kept it in the back of my mind. And in junior year, so I guess would that be the winter of 2017? I read about this thing called the MIT Think Project. It's basically a grant proposal challenge where you put together an idea, you send it off in a 10-page grant proposal, and 7 of the some odd 40,000 people will be selected to receive a bunch of money and a bunch of people to help them put it together. So I submitted to that. I did not win, but I was really, really set on this project. I really wanted to make it happen. I have a lot of different ideas that kind of fall to the wayside. So I was like, no, I'm going to stick with this one. So I actually made it my graduation project. It's a senior exit. It's like required to graduate. So I was like, all right, let's take a gamble on this. If I don't do this project, I will not graduate high school. So I sat down and I basically opened up a Brackeys tutorial and started learning. Like I didn't know C# or anything beforehand, but in 3 weeks it was put together. It was 3 crazy weeks, but
yeah, that's pretty impressive. Holy crap! Wow. What made you pick this one specifically over other ideas that you had? Like, how did you know that this is the one to spend time on?
So I have a lot of different ideas for different things, as a lot of people do. I'm kind of a daydreamer, head in the clouds kind of guy. A lot of the ideas that I have aren't very workable, at least like on like an individual scale. But even the ones that are, sometimes you have to ask the question, this is cool, but do people need this? Is this something that will have a positive effect on the world, or is it just interesting? And one of my best friends actually is on the autism spectrum. And I kind of saw his journey throughout high school, and he thankfully transferred schools. But at his old school, he had a really tough time with the people there and adjusting to all that. So it's always been an issue that's kind of close to my heart. So combining that with my love for VR and technology and with my passion for music, it just all kind of came together in one big conglomeration of the things I love, I'm good at, and the world needs.
That's great, man. Glad to hear.
Thank you.
It's a great idea of having something that's a little more meaningful behind a project rather than I'm just doing this for fun. And not to say that projects shouldn't be done for fun, but whenever I find myself having a project that has, some sort of heart behind it. It always, kind of provides an extra level. So glad to hear you found that. Cool.
Thank you.
So what do you think about, VR as a whole? Like, it's to me, it's such an interesting time to be alive, especially like as a developer. Like we have access to tools now that artists and storytellers and creators never had, to access the ability to simulate reality.
Yeah,
what's that mean?
It's really unparalleled. I think it's interesting how a lot of times people see this is in relation to AR. How people see it as sort of conventional technology, then AR, then VR, and that it's sort of a progression into becoming more and more all-encompassing. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. Like, for instance, with this project, so I did it all in VR, but the goal is to have it in AR. Just the technology wasn't really there at the time. There's like the HoloLens and other things, but all I could really get my hands on was an Oculus, and front-facing camera wasn't a thing. So it does work in VR for like a solo application, but for a therapist application, at least at this point, AR would actually be a bit more effective, because while you could have a two VR headsets where the child links with the therapist and they're in some sort of virtual environment together, it would be more beneficial for the child to be looking out into reality, because it is all about forming those personal connections with like a corporeal form, so long as that is what you interact with on a daily basis. I feel like if they were with an avatar, that wouldn't really help, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So as long as there's some sort of physical interaction still going on in society, I think AR will always have some sort of an application.
Yeah.
But I do think there is something to be said for like a trend towards VR over AR.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like they'll sort of converge in a way, like at least the device itself will have both in the same classes,
sure.
I imagine. So we're getting a interesting discussion from Chad. He says, as you can see, there's a lot of people with mental health conditions using VR. And he says, not to be rude, but I don't want to look like one of them to get VR. He says that's what hinders. What would you say to that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
He says, essentially, he doesn't want to get into VR because he sees a lot of people with mental health issues using virtual reality.
Well, honestly, I wouldn't breathe oxygen, because a lot of people with mental health issues do that too. I think that VR is, at the moment, it's still more underground than conventional technology, and a lot of times the more obscure something is, the more obscure audience it attracts. But as it becomes more mainstream, we've seen it's becoming, you see it in stores and stuff like that. The audience is broadening out a bit, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons or something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people play it now. There's a lot less of a stigma attached to it. It's really just kind of luck of the draw for who tries it out. I wouldn't let that deter you at all, especially because if you're from the development side, at least, that can be a completely independent thing. If you're genuinely worried about what other people think of you, and again, I wouldn't be, you can just do that all on your own and then interact with other people online who are also interested in the same sort of a thing. My project was done 100% independently. I mean, my brother's into VR, so I would talk with him about it, but outside of that, I wasn't like making this, some like, I don't know. It has to become as much of your identity as you want it to be.
Yeah. So. Yeah, well said. True gamer, I'll also say, if you have that viewpoint, you're gonna miss out on a lot of cool things in life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And also, I don't think that the solution for people with mental illness is to try to, isolate them and, seclude yourself off from them. I think people gain to stand to gain a lot by interacting with people who have a different life path and different struggles than them.
Absolutely. Expand the horizons.
Exactly.
Speaking of horizon expansion, Paul, what's next for you? What are you working on?
So that's a great question. I'm going off to Chapel Hill in the fall. I'm really excited. I'm in the honors college, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Nice.
I'm going currently planning to go for physics and math double major, but I might be switching to physics and computer science after this project because I really enjoyed it, and I think if I don't have some sort of a technical background, I don't want to ill-equip myself if I want to continue with this as a career.
That's right, man. Well, hey, I'm glad to hear it's. I feel like in the industry, things can stagnate throughout the years. Headsets get announced, but then we hear no news coming from the industry. So, whenever I see something like this, where it's just a single guy or small team just creating something that's outside of what we thought is possible with virtual reality, it's always encouraging and it's always cool to see. So, hey, I appreciate you coming on, Paul. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Best of luck with your future projects.
Yeah, you as well.
Great Monday. Oh wait, one last question for you if you're there.
Sure, yeah.
Would you rather drink orange juice and realize it's milk, or would you rather drink milk and realize it's orange juice?
That's a wonderful question. I would definitely have to go with drink orange juice thinking it's milk. Yeah. So like I picked it up. I assume it to be a glass of milk and it's actually orange juice. And I have to disagree with the other guy. I kind of wouldn't mind that much of a shock, but like if I'm expecting some like full-bodied, like tangy flavor, and then I'm hit with just like this lukewarm milk, that's gonna like make me puke in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's not a nice thought.
Mm.
No one likes lukewarm milk. All right, the debate has been settled. Thanks, Paul.
Sounds good.
Peace.
Bye.
Dang it, I forgot to say I love you. Folks, you're listening to VR Radio. We'll be back in a minute. Folks, we got about 13 minutes left in the show, and I'm excited to chill with you for the last 10 minutes. I feel like the last 10 to 15 minutes of VR Radio are always my favorite. Not because it's ending, because it's when I feel I'm in the flow of things. Hey, it's Suki. You're live on VR Radio. Where are you calling from? It's Suki. Every time we talk, you are like the softest speaking voice, and I don't say that negatively. I just,
that's...
it's always a pleasure, though.
Yeah.
How was your weekend, Itsuki?
Did a music performance. It was, exciting.
Exciting?
Yeah.
Okay. Right on. What was exciting about your weekend, Itsuki?
I don't know. Just like the feeling of like doing many more things than I would normally be doing.
It's a good thing to do many more things than one normally does.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
All right, one question for you, quick, coming up. You have to leave the house in 20 minutes. No, you have to leave the house in 5 minutes, okay? You're in a hurry, you gotta go somewhere. But you're super hungry. Do you toast your bread, or do you just eat the bread raw? Toasted or untoasted?
Both is good, but
You're going both, is that what you said?
I don't know.
You gotta hurry up, Tsugi. You got 5 minutes. You gotta be somewhere. Toast or untoasted?
I'll do it non-toasted.
Non-toasted. The debate has been settled. Itsuki would go non-toasted bread in a 5-minute rush to get out of the house. Thank you, Itsuki.
Yep.
All right. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye. One day we're gonna say, "Hey, love you," and it'll just be like natural, you know. It won't be awkward. Folks, you're listening to VR Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Bebop Mondays, we'll say. I feel like I have recently discovered bebop jazz, partly due to Cowboy Bebop. That old anime. I'll tell you folks, I'm not a huge anime guy, I'll say. It's not like I don't like it, I just never really got into it. It's only been the past year or so that I really got into Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, and I started Akira yesterday, and folks, what a wonderful movie. Only about 10-15 minutes in, but good lord, the art style in that is impressive. Okay, I guess the topic is animes. Are you watching any? You like animes? Flame Joke says, do you love chat though? I love chat. Alright, Mike says, what game is this? This is Ericart. Audrey says, I don't think any girl could get used to saying that to them, lol. My mom's pretty used to it, I just say, alright mom, love you, bye. And then I hang up. Oh. Lady Donut says, hey Jack, would you rather an orange be black in color, but still be called orange, or orange, black, but are still in orange color? It's questions like that that really make me enjoy doing this show. Paradigms that otherwise would have remained closed are opened. Folks, would you rather oranges be black but still be called oranges, or oranges be called black but still be orange? I would rather oranges be called black but still be orange, because I don't want to eat a black fruit. Call me racist, call me whatever. I do not want to eat a black spherical fruit. That does not sound appealing. And oranges are one of my favorite fruits. So keep the oranges, change the name. That's my vote. Folks, we got Manteca by Dizzy coming up next. Oh, I'm getting a call. Account services. This might be an important call. We'll do it on speaker here.
This call concerns an important business matter. Please return the call to
Okay, that's a bot. Folks, we're very professional here on VR Radio. We're going to be taking a call that is not a spam caller. Or it might be, hey, Starry Mike, you're live on air. Where are you calling from?
Sorry, what did you say?
Hey, you're live on air. Where are you calling from, my friend?
I'm calling here from Tennessee. Great hilly.
Good old Tennessee Hills, my friend. That's
Yeah,
not it.
we don't sell Cokes here. We sell Jack Daniels.
Jack. Jack
Yeah.
Daniels, can't beat it. Can't beat the old Jack Daniels.
No, you cannot.
Sorry, Mike.
I never had Jack Daniels.
I
Every
am not a
every-
fan. I'll tell you that much. It's not that
Yeah,
good.
every alcohol I've tried, I think pina coladas were the only things that I liked. That's because those are the sweetest.
You're underage. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
I am under. No, it's
delete
just,
you
it's
from the
just
call
sips.
here.
It's just
Can't be
sips. It's
discussing.
not like full drinks.
Okay, I get you. I get what game you're playing. Hey, Stray Mike, how was your weekend, my friend? You're gonna have to.
What's going on in the background?
There's a man with a chainsaw. He comes every Monday. He just stands outside my window. He says, "Hey, Jack, I know you're hosting a show, but this chainsaw. It's not even threatening. He's just sort of showing me his chainsaw. He's pointing to his chainsaw. But hey, continue on. Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's fine. Nothing much has been happening. Honestly, I've been streaming to Twitch quite a bit. You will definitely notice that if you've been in a community sharing channel for any length of time this week.
Absolutely.
I have been clogging up that channel, and I should probably. There's a small part of me thinking like, could I get my own channel so my stuff stays away from community sharing so everyone can see everyone else's content? Because I feel a bit like an asshole doing this.
Not at all, man. You're keeping the community sharing tab alive. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tune into one of your streams. What games are you playing?
Yeah. It's mainly VR stuff at the moment. I had to get rid of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades for the vote list because everyone kept voting for that. I love that game, you guys, but Jesus Christ, I want to play like Beat Saber. I want to play Minecraft VR. I want to play other games. But no, apparently my only job is to be like, what's his face that does the stupid reloads in, to do the stupid reloads in H3 VR.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Oh, he does like trick reloads and stuff?
Yeah, he does like all the trick reloads and all that. Yeah.
I haven't played H3 too much, but I've been thinking about jumping in with the TF2 update that just dropped.
You'll love it. If
cool.
you've ever played any TF2, like they even add the blast jumping. It's a bit screwy at first, but you do have. But it is fun once you get used to it. It's quite lovely. Like the balisong knife and how you actually flip it out and it dangles with gravity. Like it feels weird flicking it out, but it's pretty good.
That's rad. Hey, what's up, Xamers X in chat? Thanks for tuning in. You know, Stray Mike, I will tell you, you have a very good radio voice. It's very deep. It's resonant.
Yeah, I would do better as a radio host than a voice actor, because every time I voice act anything, it's like, okay, do the voice of Cave Johnson. He's got a deep voice, and I fuck it all up. It's like, I'm doing my best here. Trust me.
That's great. That's great. Hey, what do you think about the Gulf War conflict?
I'm sorry, the what conflict?
Sorry, what?
What?
The Gulf War conflict.
The Gulf War conflict. I don't know. I haven't heard of it up until now. I don't really follow the news too much.
Yeah. No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh.
We're out of topics here, so we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah, well, in that case, I think I could take a question from chat or something like that.
Yeah, Wur says F. How do you respond to that?
Shit, he's got me.
Yeah, me too. I'm stumped there. My immediate response would be E to that. What about you?
Mine would be C, and hopefully someone will have a K, so it just spells feck. Or I don't know, we could have two C's at the end.
Why feck?
I'm sorry, I think
that's
Adley
not even.
Would agree. Adley would agree that that's how fuck is said in Irish.
F-E-C-K. You broke me, dude. That was good. The way you said it was heck. It wasn't even like wow, that was good. All right, Story Mike. We'll leave it there.
All right,
Thanks for calling in, man.
Streams. Love you.
Love you too.
Hopefully I do get my own channel one day on here because I do still feel like I do.
We'll see. We'll see. Folks, it's been a wonderful episode of VR Radio. If I don't say so, it's been a FECKING amazing stream. Do the loudest laugh possible. It's morning. I believe my neighbor is recording voiceover lines. He's a voice actor, so I don't want to scream too loud. Also, I must save my voice. Anyways, folks, thanks for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Monday. Peace out. Birds.